Namaste, I am Soumya and welcome to my channel. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. Wishing you all a very happy 2024. This video is something that was highly recommended. This video is happening as a result of all the emails, all the comments, all the questions you all had. I have gathered all of that and I have answers to all the questions. This is regarding fibroids. So, the first question was, a lot of people treat and shrink fibroids using Ayurveda, and after 6 to 10 months, sometimes within a year, the fibroids come back. Is that something that happened to me? No. By God's grace, okay. So by God's grace, I'm fine. I had fibroids for a really long time, but I detected that in 2020 when the symptoms got the worst. And by the end of 2020, 2021, I was fine. And so far, now it's in 2024, and I do not have any fibroid symptoms. I don't have all those mood swings. I don't have the estrogen dominance issues that comes with it. So, is that only because of Ayurvedic medicines? Well, Ayurvedic medicines help to shrink the fibroids. However, it's a complete lifestyle change when it comes to fitness, sleep, and nutrition that ensures that fibroids do not come back. Okay, so then a lot of people wanted to know more about nutrition. Before I go further into it, kindly know that I am not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not certified to give any nutrition advice. So what I am doing is just sharing with all of you what I, as a fibroids patient, had during the fibroids process, after the shrinking, and the kind of food I'm continuing to have even today, like even this morning, what I had. Okay. When you are going through fibroids, kindly know that it is winter season for your body, which means the kapha in your body is very high. So your body is in winter. So what does that mean? What can you do with that information? During winter, what kind of foods do we want? Very warm, freshly cooked, none of those raw salads, Greek salads, lettuce, all of that. No, our body needs very well cooked foods. Okay. So what I have had is more Malayali food because I am a Malayali. And that second reason for that is, say you're thinking about having dosha, idli, uttapam. The batter is the same for all of this. The batter is made with the perfect amount of rice and dal, and the proportions are such that rice and dal combination that is used to make these dals, they are said to have, I've written it down, together they offer a complete profile of amino acids, and the fermented batter has probiotics. Probiotics are so important for our gut health, and when we are going through fibroids, our digestion is so bad. In Ayurveda, it's called the Agni is very low. So then you have to put food inside your body that you can easily digest. So dosha, idli, these are things I have till date. In fact, today was the only day I didn't have dosha because we don't have the batter. Do not have the instant batters which you can make using Eno, because that completely fails the purpose of creating that probiotics by fermentation. So you will have to use the traditional batter. I will be very honest. I buy sometimes dosha batter from the brand ID. I live in Dubai, so that's a good brand. It's properly made and they do not have any additives and preservatives. And the ingredient list just says urad dal, rice, purified water, and I think salt, fenugreek, that kind of stuff. So that's fine. You have to look for products that are readily available, okay? Because fibroids, the shrinking process for some takes only 2 to 3 months. For some, it goes 6 months. Like I was one of those people for whom it took 6 months because I just kept ignoring all the signs, and it just started getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I had a couple of ones like ball shape. I have given all the information about what I went through and all that in the other videos I have made, so I will link the women's health playlist down there so you can go through that. So dosha, idli, fermented batter, rice, dal, same thing, rice and dal you can have for lunch. It's the perfect amino acid profile. Now, what do you have to make sure? That you have to make sure you're cooking all of these things in the traditional method. How did your grandmother teach you to cook? How did your mother teach you to cook? What are the recipes they shared with you? So I love sambar. I love rasam. Um, Rasam and sambar, they have turmeric in it. Rasam especially has turmeric and it has black pepper in it. So these things will aid your digestion. It's very easy for your body to receive this food and digest it. I could not have anything non-vegetarian. Like I sometimes eat chicken. I used to regularly have eggs. When fibroids got worse for me, I could not eat even eggs. So understand what works for your body, work with it. This is just a guideline for you to follow when you are creating a diet for yourself. Okay, so fresh cooked meals, easy to digest, nothing like raw salads. In fact, if you didn't know, I learned this from Rujuta Divekar. I love her. Kindly go watch all her videos when it comes to hormonal balancing, healing, what kind of food to eat. She is epic. I also learned so much from Dr. Eric Berg. So, what they have taught me is, especially Rujuta, what she taught is um, vitamin A that's there in carrots. You cannot completely assimilate it without some kind of oil. So if you make carrot into a carrot toran, carrot pachadi, gajar ka halwa, your body can completely take the vitamin A from it because vitamin A is not water soluble, vitamin A is fat soluble. So I am someone who has carrots even in smoothies and I haven't completely stopped doing that, but that wisdom has enabled me to go back and make more traditional foods. So you can look for recipes of carrot pachadi, khichdi and carrot halwa. Second, ghee. Ghee is not bad for you, just don't go overboard with ghee. The most important guideline you should follow is my mom used to always say, Adigam ayal amridum visham, which means too much of anything is not that good for you. Just have balance. So if someone says jaggery is a little better than sugar, doesn't mean you eat a ton of jaggery related things or you make more jaggery related things. Like jaggery is a little bit better than sugar, but that doesn't mean there should be jaggery in everything you're eating. Like that's not how it works. It just has more trace minerals than sugar and it also has more iron content than sugar, but that doesn't mean go crazy about it. Same goes for ghee. It has healthy fats, it's good for the body, it helps our body to digest the food that we are ingesting, and it helps our body to get more nutrition like vitamins and everything from the food that we are eating. So if you add ghee into your carrot dish, the ghee ensures that our body can absorb vitamin A from the carrot. Again, do your research. This is just a guideline. Kindly use your discernment when it comes to what you eat and not. Then millets. The only millet that I am very intimate with and know really well as a Malayali is ragi. So how I eat ragi is I currently do not, to be honest. After some time I have to start. Ragi can be had as ragi dosha. Ragi can be had as ragi porridge, and putte. I'm not the biggest fan of ragi putte, to be honest. My mom even once made, I think, ragi idli. I wasn't the biggest fan. Dosha and porridge is something I can have. And when it comes to millets, this is again something I learned from that nutritionist, Juta Devekar. Uh, you do not mix millets. So many of you have asked, like, so, okay, you need to have millets. I can mix ragi with jowar. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't think that's the right way. So stick to the traditional way. We mix some rice flour into the ragi dosha batter, and that is fine, but you don't mix other millets together. So it's very important to know that. So you stick to the traditional recipes. You have ragi as ragi dosha, ragi porridge, and if you like, as ragi idli and puttu. Not the biggest fan. And those are traditional recipes. Okay, you do not mix millets together. When I make ragi porridge, I do not add sugar. I like to add jaggery to it, and I like to add a little bit of ghee to it. Again, we are not going overboard. I also used to have, and even I think this morning I had rava kachid, which is semolina porridge. I had it with a tiny bit of ghee, a little bit of jaggery, very simple, very basic. And when you eat ragi puttu, the only way in which I can make it go down is with some banana and a little sprinkle of sugar. So these are just things that has helped me. Second thing, when we get diagnosed with this, we go through so many stages, which I will discuss way later on. Okay. But when we go through this process of, oh my God, now I can't eat this and I can't eat that and I have to change this, it's almost like this victim consciousness. Why did this happen to me? Now I can't eat this. Instead of that, I mean, of course, go through that feeling, process that feeling, journal if you want, talk to someone if you want. But eventually, you have to come to a mindset. This is something I had to learn the hard way. That it's not about all the things I cannot eat. It is about all the things I can eat to heal myself, to nourish myself from the inside out. That mindset shift is so good. So instead of eating biscuit, instead of going, I cannot eat biscuits anymore, don't look at it like that. For the next few months, especially when you're on a strict fibroid diet, you are just switching the biscuits for, say, a green apple, a red apple. These are things, apples are something very, very good for you. And it's actually said apples are even good for all kinds of hormonal imbalance. Even later on in life, when you go through perimenopause and menopause, green apple and red apple is like this recommended and advised to have as a part of a healthy healing diet to help you go through those phases. So think about like this. Instead of biscuit, you will have an apple. Instead of some kind of chips and stuff, you will have an apple. Instead of those kind of snacks, you will have a handful of cashews. Now, when do you have cashews? I normally have cashews few days before I'm expecting my period. So during that PMSing week, I think it's called the luteal phase. During that, almost every evening, I will have a handful of cashews. Wash it really well, put it in drinking water for 10-15 minutes, and then I will eat it. It takes away any kind of heat that's there in it. It's easy for our body to digest. The way we eat nuts is by soaking it in water. Second, do not eat almonds that are like just roasted with the skin on, or just take a handful of almonds, wash and just put that in the blender and make a smoothie. No, we need to have almonds in a particular way. You can soak almonds, like 5 or 6 almonds in water at night, put it in the fridge. The next day, so you wake up after like 8 or 9 hours of sleep, right? The next day, after having your warm water in the morning, peel off the skin from the almonds and then taste those almonds. They are so much more good, easily digestible for the body, and eating those 5 almonds in the morning like that is said to help again in hormonal balance. You don't need to eat 10-15 almonds, just 4 to 5 is more than enough. Stick with 5, do it every night before going to bed. You soak almonds. When you wake up in the morning, you do your brushing your teeth and everything, and then you have your warm water, and then have these 5 almonds, and then you eat some very simple, very homey porridge, either a rava porridge or a ragi porridge. Again, don't go overboard with it. Limit lactose consumption because it makes the fibroids go bigger. If anything that I am saying throughout this video is creating some eating disorder problems in you or making you fear food, stop watching the video. The lifestyle we are supposed to have is a lifestyle where we live with the seasons of our body, with the mother nature seasons, and we eat food that's real food, not like highly processed and put in a package and sit somewhere for these many years, and was produced a month ago but can sustain itself for at least 10 years. Like, what the hell? Like, or 2 years or 3 years. We'll just reduce it. That doesn't mean I do not have biscuits. I definitely do. It's not part of my daily diet. Next, do not have pizzas, any kind of maida, which is like all purpose flour related anything. Just, you don't need that in your life, especially during your fibroid journey. So that's a complete no. I have already talked about how to have nuts, how to have vegetables. You do not have raw vegetables, especially when you're going through this. So the only way to have that is by making it into a thoran, Thoran. You can look for thoran recipes, or you can add some tadka. Or what is tadka? You take a small pan, put some coconut oil. I use coconut oil. Sometimes a little bit of ghee will be added to the coconut oil, but the base oil I use for cooking is coconut oil. I'm a Malayali, so yeah, that's what I was taught. And to that coconut oil, to the hot coconut oil, you put some mustard seeds, it splutters, and once that is done, you add some urad dal, some red chilies, okay, and then that is a tadka. That you add to the freshly grated whatever is there, or the freshly grated carrots you can add to this. Add some salt, some turmeric, some pepper, saute it for like 2-3 minutes. It doesn't have to be fully cooked, just 2 minutes in that. That enables your body to absorb all the good nutrients in the vegetables, and digestion becomes way easier. The next thing, I got a lot of questions regarding constipation, fiber. Yes, some people go through that, and that makes this even more difficult. So you need to have a ton of fiber. You get a lot of fiber from fruits and vegetables, but sometimes our diet doesn't give us everything that we want. So there, my hack is isabgol or psyllium husk. I have it here, but I don't want to get up and show it. But if you can Google, you will find it's called isabgol. That's what we Indians call it, but Westerners call it psyllium husk. 1 teaspoon of that somewhere in the like evening or something, and it really helps because we need a lot of fiber in our diet. Today, a lot of conversation about diet goes around, that's carbs, don't eat carbs. That's a lot of calories, don't eat that. Eat a lot of protein. Not everyone is talking about fiber. So if you can go into traditional, wherever you are from, if you are from Africa, go and look at your grandmothers and mothers' traditional African recipes. Get those fruits, vegetables, and root vegetables and start cooking with those. You will see a huge difference. If you are Indian, if you are from the northern part of India, stick to the recipes your mother and grandmother has told you. Stick to it. If you are a Malayali, kindly come back to Malayali recipes. If you are from Tamil Nadu, you are from Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, we actually, especially South Indian cuisine, we actually have the seasonal vegetables, the thoran, the kalan, the olin, all of that, which is all very, very good for us. So that's the main message I have. The other thing, if you cannot afford certain things on a consistent basis, then there will be no consistency in your diet. For example, if you are someone who's having like, I don't know, like the protein powders and like the collagen stuff, if you have the money to have it consistently, good. But most of us cannot afford very, very expensive things, the expensive protein bars and things. So what can we do? We can create routines in our life where we have these snacks prepared. Now comes addressing the iron folic acid deficiency. I have iron tablets. It's adding up a lot. So I am starting to introduce asario or olive seeds. I'm going to show that to you. This is what it looks like. It's called asario seeds. You soak them in water for 3 to 5 hours, sometimes overnight. The next day you see it becomes a jelly-like consistency, very similar to the consistency you have when you make a flaxseed gel. So it gets into that consistency, and then you turn this into laddus. So instead of those biscuits, you can have laddus. And days when you wake up in the morning and you are rushing out of the house, if you have these pre-made laddus, you can have 2 of those, put that in your lunch box and eat that on the way, or you can eat that and then get out of the house. It's filled with iron and folic acid and lots of vitamins, and this is recommended as something that women who are going through puberty have, women who are going through perimenopause will have, menopause will have, and even fibroids and everything. That is because it has a ton of iron and folic acid. The best way to cook this is in iron kadai. I do not have it because I don't have the flame stuff. I have more of the electric one, so that is annoying. If you have the traditional stuff, it is not like the electrical hot plate kind, then it's very easy to use iron kadai and make a lot of food. Yeah, so keep iron kadai in mind. But again, I don't want to lie, I do not have it. I do not cook in it. I do not have practice doing that. But if you can, that is excellent. Now, why is that excellent? Just like we know the Teflon coating in our vessels, it deteriorates after a time, which means a little bit of that goes into our food, and that's not good for us. The same way, if you cook in iron kadais, a little bit of the iron over the course of time gets into our food, and that is good for us. So, yeah, again, these are things I wish I knew when my fibroid journey started, but it's okay. We grow, we learn, we live. Okay, coffee. I asked my doctor back then, her name is Dr. Anju, back then if I could have coffee, and she said it's better to avoid coffee. You can have tea, but if you want to have coffee, have very little and it should not be too strong. So that's what I was advised. Depending on your body, your some acidic alkaline condition of the body, your doctor will suggest something different. So that is important. Next, do not have your vitamins, any supplements you're having, your daily vitamins, your vitamin B, your vitamin D, do not have it along with any kind of caffeine. Between your coffee and your supplements, there should be a minimum, bare minimum, 3 hours break. There should be a gap of 3 hours. And the reason for that is caffeine inhibits absorption of certain vitamins and minerals and nutrients from the food we are eating, the supplements we are ingesting. So essentially, if you have coffee at say like 10 in the morning, and then after the coffee within 15-20 minutes you're having a supplement, you're basically wasting your money. That coffee will give you tons of energy, but it inhibits absorption of nutrients from what you're consuming. So what's the point? If you think that your supplements are not working, the thing you have to check is, are you having caffeine any time frame that is pretty close to your vitamin consumption? So a lot of people I know currently, they have their dinner and then they have their supplements, because we stop drinking coffee by like at least 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So when you have your dinner by say 9 o'clock, hopefully there isn't much caffeine left in your body that is going to inhibit the absorption of vitamins and minerals. Again, I can't be without coffee. It's an addiction, and that's my journey. I've received emails about Shatavari. I'm looking down because I have written notes based on your emails and comments. There was a question about Shatavari. Shatavari is said to, again, do your research. Shatavari is said to have phytoestrogens, which helps women who are going through perimenopause and menopause. But fibroids is an estrogen dominant situation in the body, so you don't need any more estrogens. Exactly because of this, when someone asked me about soy is said to have phytoestrogens. So consuming soy when you are already estrogen dominant is not a good idea, because it could increase the estrogen in our body. Again, do your research. So many people say so many things. Your 3 to 6 months of fibroid shrinking journey is just very short. So you have an entire 60-70 years of or plus of life, okay, that you're gonna live. Out of that, if you can be very, very strict and conscious about what you are consuming during your fibroid shrinking process, and bring a lot of that food into the rest of your life, including some cheat days and some cheat meals, that's more balance. So do not cry about not being able to have soy, tofu, like soy milk, tofu, tempeh, all of that, because it's not forever that you're not going to have it. In fact, when you go through menopause, you are supposed to have it. So this is your winter season. Your body is going through so much healing. Just support it. in this way. So we finished with vegetables and fruits and nuts, and also talked about rice and dal and breakfast options. Keep it very simple, keep it sustainable. I can have dosha every day because the batter, I can either make it at home or I can buy it from outside. The process is very simple, it's not hectic. But if I'm buying something really fancy from outside, say for 60, 70 dirhams, that is not something I can consistently do or like consume or have because it adds up. So keep it easy, keep it consistent. If I make ragi laddu, if I make, say, this one, the olive laddu or asadio laddu, these are called garden cress seeds. If I make a laddu out of it, like this is 4 dirhams and I get this much of it. I don't need this much for at least 1 month. So this stuff on which I spend 4 dirhams, I can use it for close to 2 months if I make laddus out of it. So just budget in such a way that everything gets easier and consistent. Next is, don't simply count macros. You should know about micros. If you look at an Google South Indian thali, it will show you rice. It will show you paripu, which is dal. There will be sambar. There will be rasam. There will be pachadi, kichadi, toran, pickle, all of those things. So in that one meal, you get so many vegetables, so many nutrients. There is dal in sambar, there is dal in rasam, and there is dal in obviously paripu. Eat in such a way that your body gets all kinds of nutrients. So you don't need to have 10 meals a day, so much food every day. You can do intermittent fasting and still get nutrients if you eat the traditional way. But today, a lot of people have just focused on cutting out so many things and counting carbs, even in fruits and vegetables, that they get a lot of deficiencies and they look older than they are. And especially for women, my God, I wish I knew this way before. I think people kept telling me, and I didn't care. Like we women, our hormone situation is quite delicate compared to men. So just don't over exercise, don't over diet, and do not go into over fasting. Intermittent fasting. Day one of your cycle, it's day one of your periods. Okay. From day one of your periods until day 7 of your periods, you can intermittent fast. What will this intermittent fast do? It will reduce the amount of blood that your body is losing. I have done intermittent fasting and I did stick to this 1 to 7 days and not intermittent fasting during ovulation. During ovulation, your body needs a ton of nutrients. In fact, during ovulation, your body needs a little more calories than when you are on your period. So you do not intermittent fast during ovulation. Then luteal phase is like the 7 days before you get the periods, which we talk about PMS and PMS symptoms and mood swings and all of that. That is when your body needs more progesterone. And a lot of women who are like you and I, who like has a lot of stress and has so many responsibilities, our cortisol levels are high. So our body cannot produce enough progesterone. Now, if you go into intermittent fasting during that period, progesterone levels are just not going to increase, it's going to plummet. We are going to have extreme PMS symptoms and we are going to have extreme cortisol levels, which will lead to very painful periods. I hope I made that clear. So, first 7 days of your periods, fasting is okay. Anything after that, we do have certain power phases here and there, so I try to stick with that. Read the book from Dr. Minty Pellis. It goes Fast Like a Girl is the book. However, my body wasn't the happiest. I had a lot of hair fall even when I stuck to the rules in that book. I did 14 hours of fast when I was on periods, and on the power phases between ovulation and PMS, I did 16 hours. I don't know, my body wasn't feeling it. So I had a lot of hair fall, a lot of mood swings. Kindly stick to what works for your body. What works for me doesn't have to work for you. What works for you doesn't have to work for me. So take everything with a grain of salt. A lot of people, especially when it comes to yogic culture, we talk about not eating for like I think 6 to 8 hours between meals. It works very well for a lot of men, but we women, we have very delicate hormones. There are certain phases where we need a lot of estrogen, a lot of progesterone. There are certain phases where progesterone is going down, but it's a lot. It's a lot. So if you want me to make a video about cycle syncing, I could totally do that. Do not want to include it here. So next, vitamins. You need to have vitamin D3 with K2. Very important. K2 ensures vitamin D3 actually gets absorbed for the right reasons in our body. Just having vitamin D without K2 on long term might not be the most beneficial. So kindly do your research on that. The next, very, very important, when you're having your iron tablet, have it with vitamin C. Either that effervescent stuff, or just take one lemon, one orange, something, and squeeze a little bit into the water that you're drinking. Consume that. So take a glass of water, put some vitamin C through orange juice, freshly squeezed orange juice, freshly squeezed lemon, and with that water, consume your iron. This ensures your body can fully absorb iron, because vitamin C is the carrier for iron. A lot of your doctors will ask you to have vitamin B. We need like B1, B2, B6, B12, all of that during fibroids. When the body goes into healing mode, these things are depleted from our body. So vitamin B is very, very, very essential. Even if you're having a multivitamin thing, I normally take a separate vitamin B. And even now I take it. The recipes you should be looking out for, which is very easy to make, which is Kerala green chutney recipe, rice and dal recipes, carrot beetroot pachadi khichdi recipes, and watch Rujuta Devekar to learn more about nutrition and workout. In fact, you need to build your strength after the fibroid shrinking journey is over. So during fibroid shrinking, I didn't do any weightlifting, any strength training. I just couldn't. The only thing I could keep up with was I walk here in this room. I can't go out and walk, so I would walk in this room. So I started with like 1,000 steps, 2,000 steps, 5,000 steps, and reached almost 10,000 steps. That is the only form of workout I could do when I was in this journey. And that increases stamina for you. But walking does not become your entire workout. So if walking is the only workout you're doing, you're only, creating, of course, good hormones and lots of things, but you're only focusing on stamina. You need to focus on mobility, you need to focus on building strength, and then obviously stamina, and there is more. I forgot. There's more aspects to working out. So you have to build your strength, you have to build your stamina, you have to build your mobility. So to work with the bone density and lean mass and all of that, we need to do a little bit of weight training, a little bit of strength training, along with walking. So that is something you can focus on once the fibroids have shrunk and the doctor has given you the green light. Your diet should be it should be sustainable, it should be your lifestyle. So the diet I started having during the fibroid shrinking, now that still continues. I don't have that much of milk, I don't have that much of soy, like in fact I don't have any soy products, and I have like a little bit of ragi and rava and vegetables and fruits, and I've kept it pretty boring, but sometimes boring is the way to go. And there is no excess restriction, there is no calorie counting. This is not about creating a bad relationship with food. This is not about creating an eating disorder. This is about knowing how to fuel your body the right way. So do not mix millets. There is a particular way in which you can have nuts. You can have, the other thing is progesterone. To build up progesterone during the PMSing phase, sweet potatoes are great. So you can roast sweet potatoes. You can I like to make a soup with sweet potatoes. What I do is I put sweet potatoes and celery together along with some sauteed shallots, because shallots are good when it comes to shrinking fibroids. So add shallots into your soups. Add if you're sticking to Malayali recipes, then there is shallots in our green chutney. There is shallots in our sambar. There is shallots almost everywhere. We use shallots a lot in our cooking. So that's good. That's why I told you to stick to traditional recipes. So you can use some shallots, some normal, onions, ginger. Ginger is anti-inflammatory. Then you can add some turmeric powder. Every single time you use turmeric powder, add a tiny bit of black pepper. Black pepper ensures your body can absorb the turmeric. Vitamin K2 ensures your body can absorb vitamin D3. Vitamin C ensures your body can absorb iron. Caffeine inhibits absorption of vitamins and minerals. Do not mix millets. If it's ragi, just stick to ragi and make an entire, like a dosha and things with ragi. Later on, if you want to try jowar and bajra. Honestly, I haven't worked with those millets. I haven't cooked with those millets, so I have to be extremely honest. So if you want to use that millet, then use that in a different meal time. Okay. Millets are very good for us because they have lots and lots of micronutrients, and so they are not just empty calories. So stop eating things that's just empty calories and bring more like variety of food into your diet. This ensures you don't leave too many gaps. So then I think I spoke already about intermittent fasting, and this pretty much is it. Smoothies during the winter season of your body doesn't need more colder foods. However, I'm a smoothie person because sometimes I can't make elaborate things, but the smoothie thing goes against Ayurveda. I have to be honest. Ayurveda is against those kind of things. It's all about cook everything and make everything fresh, and I have to be honest, it doesn't always work like that. So I have smoothies, see how your body reacts to smoothies, what kind of smoothies, and yeah, tomatoes. The I think it's lycopene. It's from the tomatoes can be absorbed better when it's cooked. Again, spinach. It's better to be cooked for the body to absorb it. Do I have spinach smoothie? Absolutely yes. Do I have it every day? No. You need to have more celery in your diet because it has a ton of fiber. And isabgol, instead of making it a daily habit, just know that the days when you didn't eat properly, you need to have more fiber. So isabgol. Don't randomly go and pick up supplements that are like ashwagandha, shatavari. They all have things that sometimes can interfere with your fibroid medication. So if you are on the Ayurvedic medication, know that your medication is ensuring that fibroids are shrinking. But it is up to you to nourish your body in such a way that those fibroids do not come back, or while the medicines are shrinking the fibroids, you're eating foods that's making it bigger. So you have to ensure that. I really struggled with that during the initial diagnosis phase. Next, the last thing. Okay, there are different stages of grief. Every time you get diagnosed with a disease, an illness, we go through denial, like, no, this is not happening to me. Then we go through anger. Then we go through bargaining stage. This lots like this. Some people say there is 5 stages of grief. Some say there is 7 stages of grief. Some say there is 9 stages of grief. But most of us experience anger, denial, bargaining, depression. After all of these stages, we enter a stage of acceptance. And I think I was very angry and I was in depression simultaneously. Okay, this is not something that is linear. It doesn't mean, oh my God, I got a diagnosis, I'm supposed to feel angry, but I'm not angry, I'm just sad. Sometimes it can happen. Sometimes you can directly go into sadness, and there could be waves of anger, denial, bargaining, depression. Healing happens when you accept it. I accept this. Okay, so this is what my body is going through. I need to make a lot of changes. It's very difficult. It is not conducive to the current, career path I have taken or the responsibilities I have, but I accept it. And now from this place of acceptance, I will start healing. So let everything come up. Estrogen dominance means you will be a hot emotional mess. Own it. Talk to a therapist. I didn't have a therapist or anything. I was my own therapist. I was journaling. I had moments of crying and breaking down. Trust me, once the shrinking process is done and the fibroids have gone, you will be happy that you stuck through that. Now, the most important part is not the shrinking part. The most important part is ensuring you still continue walking, you start strength training, you start adding more protein into every meal of yours, you understand weight training, strength training, building stamina, building like that mobility, those kind of things. Stability, that's one of the things. So you train for stability, strength, stamina, and mobility. So for four things, that's what you're training your body for. So if you, after shrinking fibroids, go back into not working out, eating those kind of foods that were not good for you, of course it's going to come back. But if you do not want it to come back, you should understand your hormones are very delicate and there is a way in which you feed your hormones. To feed progesterone, you need to have a handful of cashews, you need to have sweet potatoes in your diet during your PMSing week. And during those PMSing week, if you are a part of like big team meetings and things where you skip food for 4 hours and 5 hours, that is gonna have very, very difficult problems created in your body. I wish I knew this earlier, but that is okay. I hope this was helpful. Read Minty Pella's books, read Rujuta Divekar's books, watch more videos that is more about traditional nutrition and things like that. Add more shallots into your diet and work with your body, not against your body. This is all you have. That job, that career, that relationship might not be there with you forever. But this body is your home. Love this body, honor this body, nourish this body, create a beautiful relationship with this body. This body is your house. This is your home. This is where you live. If this body is very healthy, you will enjoy a healthier life. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope I answered all the questions. If you have more questions about workouts and fitness routines, please put that in the comments. I can make a different video about it. And thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.